everyone. Hello, 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 and welcome to another session of Divine Femininity United. I am Dr. Miss V. Lee, and I am here for a good time, a healing time, a healthy time, a transparent time, um, a transforming time, right? That's what I'm here for. And I hope you are here to do the same. I hope you're having an amazing Sunday. I'm having an amazing Sunday. This Sunday started with a newness, a closing of one chapter, a beginning of another, new beginnings, new releases, new choices, new connections, healthy connections, authentic and true connections. And I am excited about it. I really, really am excited about it. We spoke about, if you follow me on other social media platforms, then you know that here as of late, the message has been related to finding your authentic self and then looking at your circle and seeing if your authentic self is present while you're in your circles. You know what I mean? When I say that, I mean, can you be your true authentic self across the board? If you have to alter who you are to be appeasing to the circle, then you're not being your true self. And if you can't be your true self in your circles, then you probably should re-examine your circles, because we're in the season right now that authentic, true circles where your authentic, true self is safe and can be unapologetically you, without facades, without, imagery, without, sitting your representation before you and all of those things. We're in a season right now where authenticity, transparency, realness is what matters. That's what matters, because few and far between are real life, authentic, true relationships. Okay. And we've all been there. We've all been scarred. We've all gone through some ups and downs in dynamics and circles and friends and all of that stuff. We've been there, done that. Some of us still healing and looking at the scars from some of that stuff, But because of the things that I've gone through previously, I have to make sure that, number one, I am the friend that I want to be. You know what I mean? I am the friend that I wish I had. And in everything that I do, I try my very best to be the friend that I wish I had. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Feel free to hit share. Feel free to invite some others, because we're going to do some talking today, some real talk. We typically do real talk all the time, okay? As real as we can get, as transparent as we can get, for real, for real. I love it too, because it's a place where, there's no judgment of anybody. It's like, what's real is real. What you deal with is what you deal with, because everybody deals with it. But I do also understand that not sharing what you deal with can be a hindrance too, because not all the time do we have outlets, healthy outlets, where we can express really how we feel about stuff that we're dealing with. And then number two, not often do you realize that your story, that you've overcome, things that you've gone through, could be the very thing that somebody need to hear to help them get through it. I say it all the time. We're only holding each other's hands, walking each other home. We are each other's advocate, and we don't even know it. We're on this selfish kick, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't got, that they on their own. And, we quick to dismiss people. We're quick to, make somebody struggle by themselves. We're quick to, well, I had to learn this, so they got to learn it too. We so quick to do that. But when we come out on the other side, we forget that we were once in the situation ourselves. Some of us are just way too arrogant for our own good. Some of us, we got cases of amnesia, okay? Because once upon a time, you needed somebody to be an advocate for you too. Once upon a time, you needed a shoulder. Once upon a time, you needed somebody to hold your hand, you know? So for us to ever think that it's cool to get to a place where we don't extend a hand to somebody else, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, where you forget how to be a compassionate, empathetic, sympathetic human being. That's wild to me, but it happens, unfortunately it happens. And it takes a minute for us to kind of sift through and sift through though. Yeah. To get to right people. And it's not to say that the people that you once were with were wrong, because that's not even the case either. Because guess what? Check this out. The people that you just came from, or that you had to end and release from, they served in the season that you were in. They served what they were supposed to serve. They gave you what was necessary for that time. You see what I'm saying? They gave you what was necessary. Hey, McCork, how are you, sir? They absolutely gave you what you needed for that time. And so it's not even like you're walking away from that old season with regret, because there's no regret. It's a gratitude. It's like, man, listen, I thoroughly thank you, because if not for some of the people that we've been with, y'all, we wouldn't have made it. Can we be honest? Can we talk for real? We wouldn't have made it if we didn't have the circle that we had before, if we didn't have the people that we had before, if we didn't have, you know what I'm saying, the motivation, the road dogs, the sister circles that we had before, y'all, we wouldn't have made it during that season. But once we came through that season, right? And then we grew and we healed and we learned better and we matured. Hello, maturation. Okay. We matured. Then all of a sudden, what used to be cool with me is no longer cool with me. It's not cool with my now self. It was wonderful for my then self, but it's not okay for my now self. And that's okay. No, ain't nobody better than you. No, you won't act like you better than somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's called evolution. It's called growth. And we can't be afraid of that. Nor can we shun somebody else for wanting it for themselves either. Like you come on now. You gotta cut them some slack and extend some grace to them and say, you know what, I get it. I'm just not ready to do that, and you ready to move forward, then hey, I send you away with love. That should be what it is, for real, for real. But when we come and when we mature and when we grow and heal from the old self, we can look back to that era, those people, that circle, and say, man, I thank you. I thank you, man, because if not for y'all, if not for that circle, if not for that season, man, I don't know where I would be. Mike says, thank God for every season. It developed me to be the me I'm in love with now. You better say it. Come on Sunday. You better preach to the people. For real, for real. You got to extend gratitude. You got to give gratitude, man, because they were perfect. That circle, that whatever that was perfect for the time that I was in. And now I'm in this time. Don't get me wrong. There could be some people that evolve with you, that get to come with you. And those people you want to give grace to too, because kudos to you, man. I chose to grow in those seasons and you choosing to grow too, man. That's what's up. Let's do it. Let's roll. Right? So you all can be encouragement for one another. But I will say this, everybody can go. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Everybody can't go. And I think that's where the struggle is. I talk about this often, where I say we have to fight to understand. We got to master, not fight. We got to master having deep connections, but not deep attachments. Okay? Master having deep connections, but not deep attachments. Attachments will make you say, oh, I'm loyalty, man. This loyalty over everything. And let me tell you something. Can I be honest today on Sunday? I'm not finna be loyal to no foolishness. That goes for blood, besties. We could have came in. We could have been born in the NICU or whatever maternity ward together. I'm not being loyal to no foolishness, baby. Ain't no ride or die over here. I'm telling you now. Say what you want. I'm not dying for none of y'all. Hey, if it's foolishness, it's foolishness. I don't support the foolishness. I do not. Call it disloyal, call it whatever you want to call it, baby, but you're going to call me in the clear, okay? And you on your own. Sometimes y'all are so loyal that you loyal to the craziest stuff, and that loyalty going to have you pulled down with it, okay? Ain't nobody got time. I love you. I love you big. I love you real big. But, the way my piece is set up, I'm good. I don't need no part of that. I'm good. You hit me when you done got some sense. Okay. And also understand that if that's a real friend who really, really, truly loves you, they wouldn't want to bring you down in their mess anyway. Loyalty or not. Loyalty would say, yeah, I love them too much, man. They doing too much good for themselves. I wouldn't even want them to be a part of that. I ain't gonna even bring them in it, man. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna get myself out of this. That's what real loyalty stands for. Loyalty don't mean, man, you ain't gonna catch this charge for me. I am not. I refuse. I'm not catching a charge for my mama, for my daddy. And that's my mom and daddy. I love them dearly. But if you got yourself in a spot where you got a charge to catch, baby, you better put your catcher's mitt on, because you better catch that thing all by yourself. You feel me? I will send some. I put something on your book. I will send you a little package every quarter. You know, some little goodies and noodles and whatnot. But she, me, her will not be. Listen, I don't like jumpsuits, huh? I don't do the one piece. I don't. The way my hips are set up, they ain't got my size. Okay. So, saying all that to say, leading into today's topic on this forgiveness journey, man. Forgiveness, 21 days to forgive everyone for everything. And today, y'all, our focus is day 17. We on this 21-day journey, y'all, day 17. Today's focus is I forgive others. Now, we done forgave mama, daddy, sister, brother, daughter, son, friends, exes, ex-partners, current partners. Who else we forgave? The world, ourselves, we done forgave all types of stuff. But now we need to forgive everybody else. And when I say everybody else, that means friends or frenemies, because y'all know they exist. Those who look like they smile at you. Come on, backstabbers. They smile in your face, and all the while they're trying to take your place. That's a frenemy. Okay. I advise, my suggestion is not to have those around ever. Okay. That whole keep your enemies close and whatever the term is. Yeah, I don't believe in that. Just go on about your business. Okay. Co-workers, forgiving them, bosses, acquaintances, and even strangers. But learning to forgive everybody else, okay? And for those who do not know, we are reading from my coach, her book, Forgiveness, 21 Days to Forgive Everyone for Everything, and that is Iyanla Vanzant. This book is an amazing book, okay? It's an amazing book. I advise you all to get it because it comes with an audio download. It comes with meditative music and this and then the third, it comes with all of that stuff. So I advise you to get it if you do not have it. I have it if you want to get it. But I have it in PDF form. So, and you can support her and get the whole thing. I don't have the audio and all of that. I got it for myself, but I advise you to get it for yourself because we're at the very end of this. So you want to start fresh. But the reason that I say at the very beginning to make sure you have your pen, your notebook, your journal, all of that stuff is because each focus requires us to confront it. This area may not be a trigger for me, but it may be a trigger for you. And so with that being said, you're going to need to do the work. If you want to forgive for real, you got to do the work. You got to do the work. We can't avoid it. And I think oftentimes we think, what's that term? Out of sight, out of mind. That is a lie. Some of this stuff that we have been embedded, that we've been conditioned to believe is a lie. Like that whole term, in order to get over somebody, you got to get up under somebody new. That's a lie too. You ain't doing nothing but passing trauma from one person to the next. Okay. So out of sight, out of mind does not mean that you are over it. All right. It does not mean that. We can be 55 years old and smell a scent that takes us back to when we was hurt at the age of 4. That tells you right there that out of sight don't mean out of mind. That also tells you that time don't heal nothing. You know what heals? Healing. Boom. That's what heals. Healing. Actually healing. That's how you heal. Okay? Facing it, confronting it. And I advise, even in my coaching, even in my working with my clients as a psychologist, I let them know, listen, your shadows, your dark sides, your traumas, your hurts, your pains, they will consume you if you do not heal them. If you do not confront them, they will overtake you. You can put on Maybelline. You can put on your best coif, your best wig. You can dress it up, Dapper Dan, like with a suit on, and put on your best shiniest Stacey Adams, and you still will not erase the trauma that you are avoiding. Because at the end of the day, you can pretend for me, for them, for everybody, but you cannot pretend for yourself. I don't care what you try to tell the world. It ain't the world that you need to be looking at and trying to appease. It's you need to be trying to appease. It's the person that you look at in the mirror every day. It's the one that's laying with self every night. It's the one that you cannot avoid. Okay? I don't care how many Pulitzers. I don't care how many books you've written. I don't care how laid and fried dyed, laid to the side you are. It doesn't matter. I don't care how many gold chains you got on, how many designer bags you carry. If you are not healing, then all of that means absolutely nothing. No thing. You're spraying perfume on a pig. Okay? At the end of the day, it's still gonna smell like ish when all of the other stuff fall off. Okay? Don't do that. You deserve, your whole entire being deserves you at your absolute best. Give you your best. Give you your 100% best. You are deserving of your best. And furthermore, before we get into this chapter, there's no way in the world that you're asking other people to give you their best if you haven't yet learned how to give it to yourself. Period. As within, so without. Just like as above, so below. If you can't give it to you, if you don't know how to love you, then how in the world do you know what loves look like from outside of you, from other people? If you don't understand forgiveness for yourself, forgiving you for the things that you've done, then how would you know how to forgive everybody else? You don't. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know it for real. You know a perception of it. You know what the movies say love is. You know what, somebody's other thought, when it comes down to love and forgiveness and all of this stuff. You know that. You know the pseudo form of love and forgiveness, which is conditional based, but you don't know the real true love until you know it for self. Until you know it for self. You can't show nothing that you've never known. Period. That's just like asking an orange to give you apple juice. It ain't gonna happen. Right? So now, with that being said, we're gonna go into Day 17, I forgive others. Friends or frenemies, family, co-workers, bosses, acquaintances, and even strangers. Here's the beginning nugget. It reads, I offer only miracles today, for I would have them to be returned to me. God's gift is love. Love can only create itself. Today, I choose to give only love because love is all that I want to receive. That is an excerpt from Prayer for a Course in Miracles Workbook, lesson 335. Okay. As we all know, the way that Iyanla does, she always goes into a focus with a story, a relatable story. Okay. And it's typically hers, but she has brought some friends in to share in this journey, especially if she don't have a story related to this. So she'll bring somebody else in. And this particular forgiveness friend story is by Reverend Matthew Cartwright. Okay. And his story reads, I now know that nothing in my life will change until I change the way I see my life and myself. I saw myself as a victim for most of my life. The hurt of my perceived childhood abandonment and social ridicule for being gay led to a life of drugs, alcohol, and sex. Rather than deal with my feelings, I chose to escape all the pain of what they did to me. I was trapped in a world of hurt, resentment, fear, and pain that left me feeling desperate in a life that didn't make sense. It was this feeling of desperation and loneliness that led me deep into a drug addiction and a series of unhealthy choices from which I contracted HIV. When I tested positive, I felt shattered and even more broken. After all I had already been through, this was like being hit in the face for no good reason. How could I let this happen? I knew better. I knew how to protect myself, but I hadn't. In the 1990s, I was a volunteer for several AIDS organizations. I had instructed people about what to do and not to do to avoid the life-altering possibilities of this once deadly disease. Now I was one of them. I could no longer pretend that I was better than or less than anyone else. I had to fight for my life. For me, that meant doing the work. The deep, hard work to clean up my mind and my heart, as well as my life. When you are a gay man, people judge you. More powerful than the judgments others hurl at me were the resentments I held and directed towards others. It was the depth of my own self-generated pain that led me into the practice of forgiveness. I wanted to be healed, not only of the pain I had caused myself, but of the perceived pain I thought others had visited upon me. I wonder if people realize the pain they cause with their mean speaking and judgments. I wonder if I realized it. With a life-threatening diagnosis hanging over my head, I decided that it didn't matter. Forgiveness, I believed, would wipe the slate clean, giving me a new lease on life. As my forgiveness practice deepened, I found the courage to forgive my mother, my father, and everyone I believed had harmed me. I began to feel better and hopeful until I realized that I had not or could not forgive myself. It was amazing for me to realize that many of the judgments made about me were the same judgments I held about myself. At the same time, I had this underlying well of judgment about others that I could not seem to shake loose. I covered those things well. I was great at acting as if everything was okay and I was no longer hurting. As the voices and images of shame and wrongness, anger and resentment swirled in my mind, I felt defeated and unlovable. I eventually convinced myself that my wounds were too powerful for any forgiveness or journal exercise. Although frustrated and angry, I was determined not to give up on forgiveness or myself. It was then that I discovered a little known secret about my real forgiveness practice. Forgiveness requires surrender. Ooh, that's good. That's me. I'm sorry. I just had to interject right there. That was good. Forgiveness requires surrender. Surrender is a state of mind and being that opens the mind and heart to divine revelation. Deeper than changing the mind or healing the heart, surrender eradicates the thoughts, the emotions, and the energies that keep frustration and anger in place. It was not until I surrendered to God, trusting that no matter what happened or did not happen, God would still love me, that I felt the shift. I let go of thinking that I had done something wrong. I asked to be healed of my shame. I prayed for forgiveness for what I had done. And I forgave myself for believing anyone had done anything to me. Surrender freed me from the prison I shoulda, coulda, and woulda, and understood and ushered me into the realization that there are no victims. Our lives are about choices. The greatest gift of surrender was that it helped me to realize that it is arrogant of me not to forgive myself when God forgives me. It is also harmful not to forgive others when God forgives them. Surrender and forgiveness make it so much easier to forgive myself when I make a mistake. I now forgive others quickly as well. With each report of my health improving, I recognize the healing power of forgiveness. I see how God has empowered me to live fully. The experience with HIV has changed my relationship with God and the world. It has set me free from the prison of my mind that caused me to judge others and myself. That's good. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. And then what's even more powerful is the healing power of forgiveness. Because listen, y'all, let me tell y'all something. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care how many MDs and PhDs and all of this stuff. The leading cause of sickness and disease, okay, I believe, me personally, I believe that it's hate, anger, rage, resentment, worry, fear, anxiety, all of that. Okay. Now, of course, we do things and make choices and stuff like that that causes us physical ailments and whatnot. However, our bodies, y'all, were so brilliantly crafted and formed and made and shaped that the systems within our bodies that work together, you know, they interconnect and are interdependent. They're their own entities, but together they work systematically to heal yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Like our bodies heal themselves, y'all. That's the beautifully brilliant creator that created us. Huh? And here's the thing too. We are extensions of that beautiful creator. We are little creators. We're made of the same components that the creator is made of, that the earth is made of, that the universe is made of. So if there's healing and constant growth and constant shifts and seasons and all of that stuff in the entire universe, then you, my love, are going through the same process. Okay? So when you release things that are not meant to live in your body, like fear, anxiety, resentment, unforgiveness, hate, rage, anger, self-loathing, and all of that, shame, guilt, all of that stuff, when you release those things and heal from those things, do you realize that your body will automatically reset itself to go back to the naturally healing, brilliantly crafted body that it was created and formed to be? And it will then get back to business for you on your behalf, because that's what it's supposed to do. This body was made the way that it was made because it houses your wonderfully beautiful spirit, which is the real you. This body is simply our house, the house of our spirit. Your spirit is the real you. That's why we have to do the healing so that our spirit can actually come forth and stand up and be. But until we do the healing and heal from past traumas and past relationships and self-loathing and betrayal and all of this stuff, once we get through the muck and miry clay, as the church folks say, then you can get back to your actual business of why you even on this earth breathing right now. The purposes behind your life. Because everybody got one. Everybody got several. Actually, you got several purposes on this earth. Each season has a lesson, right? Each season, there's a lesson for all. There's a purpose for it all. Okay? All things work together for the good of you. Okay? So, but as long as we're dealing with the stuff unnecessarily, like dragging it out, you know what I mean? Like, why you 70 still battling with something from when you were 15 years old? Why? When all you got to do is heal from it. Gain the lesson that you got out of it, apply the lesson, and keep it pushing. Why are you 65 years old and you still struggling with what your mom and them did when you was 9? That's a choice. You dragging that along unnecessarily. And there's nowhere in the world that you can continue to drag old baggage from back in the day and then still want to walk into a new tomorrow. How does that work? How does it work? You must let what was go. Let it go. Confront whatever is keeping you there. Absolutely do that. Because it's something that's keeping you chained to that feeling, that thought, that emotion, that hurt, that pain, that trauma. It's something keeping you there. So confront what's keeping you there and break that chain. Release that thing. Call your energy back from that thing and then press forward to what's in front of you. What the universe is trying to get to you. But as long as you're surrounded by all this baggage and all of this mud and all of this filth and all of this stuff, can't nothing new come to you. Ain't no room. There's no room. There's no room. You got to clear the stuff out. Okay? And that's what forgiveness does that. Because while you still hanging on and you angry, you done went on and married 2 more times and you still mad with the first husband. Because if he would have did right, then I would have never had to marry . Baby, understand this. My uncle, may he continue to rest in peace. He passed away in August of last year. One thing that he used to say was, it takes 2 to tangle. It takes 2. No one forced you to stay somewhere that you weren't supposed to be. That ex-partner of yours, guess what? They are a product of your judgment. You chose them just as much as they chose you. And if your intuition wasn't set up correctly and you went on and went into something that you know good and doggone well you weren't supposed to be in, you can't blame not another soul for your choice, nor can you blame anybody else for your choice to stay when you realize that ain't a place for you to be. There's no way in the world. Maya Angelou said it best. When a person shows you who they are the first time, you need to believe them. You need to believe them. Don't rewrite the script. Don't try to say, well, they was angry and, I might have said something that made them mad. We like to excuse the people. You know why? Because we want to excuse them so that we can have some type of satisfaction and fulfillment for our own selves. Okay? Because we don't see a situation for what it is. We see it from where we are. So if you are desperate for a relationship, then anything that person does that's toxic to you, you're going to excuse it. Because your loneliness and your fear of abandonment and your rejection issues need you to have somebody around. Come on now. Listen, I know it don't feel good, but it's right. It's right. And I'm talking to you from a place of knowing. Because, baby, listen, I wrote a whole book about it. Like the head, there it go. Go to the website and grab it, because I promise you. Okay, I'm speaking from a place of knowing. And that ain't even from just my past marriage. I'm talking about past relationships, period. Okay, they were all a product of my judgment. And I was choosing from where I was in my heart space, whether healed or not. And a lot of my choices was choices out of being unhealed. And it showed. And I reaped the consequences from it. Don't get me wrong. There's no regret there. Understand, I don't do regret, but I gained a whole lot of lessons. All right. Which says that that season or whatever that decision was, it was not in vain, because I walked away more wise. So I had to deal with that. It was going to be either that person or somebody else. But either way, I needed to get the lesson clearly. Gain the lesson because of the issues and because of the things that I've gone through. Trust and believe, just like this young man said here, just like you in your life, the things that you've gone through, they were not in vain. Trust me, it was not a waste of time. Stop saying that out your mouth. It'll be a waste of time if you have to go through that process all over again, because you ain't learned the lesson the first time. Trust me, there were so many things that I had to go through 2 to 3 to 4 times. Same dance, different partner. But the universe say you gonna get this lesson. You know why you gotta get it? Because where we trying to send you, you need to have this down packed. You need to have mastered this before you get there. Okay? Because who you are right now can't handle that atmosphere where you're going. You got to get it together. You got to tighten up. And if you ain't tighten up with Joe Blow, then maybe with Jimmy over here, you can tighten up. No, you ain't tighten up with Jimmy either. Okay, let's get Billy over here. Let's see if he, okay. Hey, hey, it ain't the person. So all of this blame game and stuff, baby, is you. It's always been you. We just finished reading a book before this one called The Mountain Is You. Guess what, my love? Ain't nobody stopping you from nothing but yourself. You. So this unforgiveness that we holding on to, guess what? It is a choice of yours to not forgive. So that misery you sitting in, every time you think about this person or this place or this thing, and it still got you triggered, it still got you up in arms, it still got you angry, in a depressed state, and in a state of anxiety, fear, in a state of rejection, low self-esteem, guess what, sweetheart? You're doing it to yourself. It's self-inflicted. It's self-sabotage. All you gotta do is forgive yourself first, and then anybody else who played the part in it. Send gratitude to the situation because you are now wiser because of it. And go on with your life to the next phase. It's easy. Lauryn Hill said it best. It could all be so simple, but we'd rather make it hard. It's us. It ain't nobody else but us. Nobody else but us. Okay? Nobody. So when we see that, when we know that, when we feel that, when we acknowledge that, even in AA, even in NA, the rehab support groups, the first step to recovery is acknowledgement, recognition. Because I can tell you all day long what you need to do, but it's going to go in one ear and out the other until you say, oh man, I'm dealing with, or I'm struggling with this, or I need to. Otherwise, whoever telling you what to do and what you need to do or whatever, they could be talking till they blue in the face, because you ain't going to get it. You're not going to get it until you get it. Until you get it. Okay? But they can suggest. And like I do, I suggest that you get, even with my clients that I facilitate, sessions and counseling sessions and coaching sessions with, I tell them outright, I'm not telling you what to do. Nope. I can only suggest. That's number one. But I enable you to go within yourself and to find your answer. Because our answers have always been on the inside of us. We just ignore ourselves too much. We have muted our own alarms called intuition, called discernment. We shut it down, and we're depending on outside people and outside sources and outside signs or whatever the case, when your answers have always been within. There's a well of knowledge on the inside of you, a well of wisdom on the inside of you, that all you got to do is adhere to it. Just listen. Listen. You can fine tune those things, that ability with sitting quiet, listening to that inner wisdom. Again, as within, so without. As within, so without. But you gotta get yourself to a place of peace long enough to be able to do that. And as long as chaos and drama and trauma and all of this stuff is surrounding you, there's no peace. There's no peace at all. You got to get yourself to a place of peace, okay? These journeys of forgiveness and all of that stuff, forgiving self and forgiving others, that helps, all right? Okay, so moving on in the book, we're facing daily forgiveness process reminders, which is find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed for 30 to 60 minutes, okay? Still your mind for at least 5 minutes and listen to the stillness meditation. If you get the book, then you'll have the meditation with you. Or if you don't have the book, you can listen to any stillness meditation, okay? We always go into each focus with reading the forgiveness prayer, once silently and then once aloud. Of course, you do this on your own with the book. I'll do it once with you here, okay? And then you can scan the emotional triggers. There's an emotional trigger list that comes with the book, and you can go over those emotional triggers, because each focus, like say for instance, when we went through this journey, there were certain focuses that triggered me more than others. Like this one here, I'm good on. You know what I mean? I can journey with somebody else and walk them through it, but there were some that I was still a little, it was still a little touchy, you know. I still felt a little lump here or there, you know, in some focuses. And when you feel those things, those are emotional triggers. So when you feel those triggers, you have to attune to them, right? You gotta give them some attention, because why is that feeling there? Same thing, like say for instance, if you're hungry and you're ignoring the fact that you're hungry, but if your stomach starts to hurt or starts to growl or whatever, that is you telling you that you're hungry. But if you keep ignoring, then you're ignoring the triggers. You're ignoring it. You're ignoring it. If you have a nagging pain somewhere and you keep ignoring, what happens is something temporary can become permanent the longer you let it sit unattended. That goes with everything, okay? That goes with everything. So the same thing with your emotional triggers. Pay attention to them. There's a trigger list that you'll be able to see and kind of gauge or whatever. We're going to do 12 forgiveness statements for each of the focuses. Today's focus is no exception. Okay, so that's why I want you to get your pen and paper out. On your own, you're going to do the forgiveness tapping sequences that we went over that week 1. So you can, if you need to remind yourself about it, it's inside of the book again. And then you got to process your thoughts and feelings consciously through your forgiveness journal reflection. We got to reflect on it. Go back and reflect. Okay, how was my reaction? You know, how was their reaction? How did I feel about their reaction? How did I feel about my reaction? You know, how do I feel about the feeling? All of that stuff. That's reflecting, right? And then listen to the gratitude meditation that comes with the book in and of itself, or you can find any other gratitude meditation. Complete the day's practice in quiet reflection. And then finally, be sure to do something good for yourself. Always, okay? Again, moving forward, today's focus is I forgive myself for judging others, okay? Friends or frenemies, family, co-workers, bosses, acquaintances, and even strangers. Today's forgiveness practice is about forgiving the secret, unspoken, or long-held grievances you may hold about or against the people with whom you interact often. This includes those people in the work or social environment, or even extended family members that you believe have harmed, hurt, dishonored, or disrespected you at one point or another. I literally just went through this process. Within the last 2 weeks, I just went through this process. And the final step was me cutting and severing the cord. from that situation, the people and stuff like that. That was the final thing. You got to go through the process. Okay. And I'm good today. I'm so good. I wasn't good 2 weeks ago. I'm being 100% honest. 2 weeks ago, I was hurt. 2 weeks ago, I shed tears. 2 weeks ago, I was devastated. But today, oh yeah, because I went through my process. Oh, honey, it was difficult, but I did it. I did it for me. I did it because I deserved it, right? I did it because I deserved it. You will need to forgive friends whom you don't know how to get rid of, or those to whom you may not be willing to speak the truth. Today, you can address all the others with whom you may have any unresolved upset. Again, give yourself permission to be radically honest. Name names and recall incidents. Make a list, and if necessary, take a day to do the work for each person. Okay? Here's the forgiveness prayer. Precious Lord of our lives and being, it is our deepest and most heartfelt desire to be a better us today. We desire to be more of what and who you created us to be today. We desire to create a life and a relationship that complements who you are in us. Today, we set our hands to do your work. We allow our hearts and minds to align with your will. And we come present to each moment, allowing all possibilities to unfold in a manner that honors you. Today, we release all personal judgment and complaints and embrace the beauty and goodness of every experience. We give ourselves permission to do things differently in a more loving way. We take authority and dominion over our old habits and patterns so that we will awaken to a new way of thinking, being, and living. We forgive all things, people, and experiences of the past. We take a few moments each hour to offer gratitude to you for allowing a better us to emerge today. We lay our weapons down. We open our heart to peace today. We rest in thee today. We let it be, and so it is. That is a prayer written by Reverend Heather Mazel. I love it. I love it. That is awesome. Okay. Now, we're moving on to the forgiveness statements. These you are going to write on your own. Okay, I'm going to give an example, but you're going to write on your own. There's 3 categories. First one is I forgive my mind for thinking, blah, 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 blah. The next one is I forgive myself for judging, blah, 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 blah. And then the third is I forgive myself for believing. Okay, each section, again, 4 sentences per section. So I'm going to give an example, and then you write the 4 sentences that pertain to you and your situation, your circumstance. Okay. So we're going to start with I forgive my mind for thinking. The example here, I forgive my mind for thinking that I have control over what people think about me. I forgive my mind for thinking that I have control over what people think about me. Baby, that's a real one, because as a Libra, I'm a Libra, y'all. And if y'all know anything about astrology, let's see, I do astrology, astronomy, I do planetary placements, I do birth natal charts, all of those things. So if you know the traits of a Libra, sometimes we can be very much so people pleasing. If we feel a shift, we're very discerning. And if we feel a shift in the atmosphere, i.e. if our scales are off balance, we are not okay. If we feel that an atmosphere is off, if we feel that there's tension, if we feel that somebody's mood is different, if we feel that they're moving a little differently, we're not okay until we find out. We got to find out. Now, if that's control or not, now that's another story. But in that sense, this example is perfect. I forgive my mind for thinking I have control over what people think about me. That was one of the things that I battled with over the last couple of weeks, because it was assumed to a collective of people by one person that, yes, one person caused all of the debauchery. Okay, crazy. Again, y'all, people don't see a situation for what it is. They see it from where they are, and where that person was. They was feeling a sense of hurt, defensiveness, offensiveness, all of this stuff. And so what they do, like parasites, they go from one person to another, to another, to another, to another, and they spew that same poison onto other people. They make other people feel what they feel, and then they cause a whole scene. Child, that's how cancer spread. Okay, that's exactly how cancer spread. And so when I heard wind of it, what I did was, because I'm a Libra and I want to make sure everybody okay, I did a whole public apology. It was just to a collective of people. I did a whole public apology because I thought I offended people. I thought, and I'm thinking that my public apology was going to make everybody, kumbaya. Because I learned then that people want to be mad. I also learned that because these people I've been around for years. So, and if y'all know me, if you truly know me, then you know that who I am right here is who I am, period, across the board. Who I am with my mom and daddy is who I am in my coaching sessions, my counseling sessions, is who I am on my panels and my keynote speaking opportunities. That's who I am. I am not one way over here and another way over there. Nope. I can't. That's too many facades and faces you got to keep up with. I'm good. I'm gonna keep the one I got. Thank you. Okay. So who I am is who they know. I've never been anything different. And so if anybody can come to you who I know and who should know me, and they can tell you a lie about me and you believe it, then that's on you. You've been you looking for something to be mad at. Okay, and they just happen to come with the tea, and you took on, and what they say that they gave you an inch and you took a mile. You took that thing and pew Usain Bolt with it. You ran off with it. So even if I did come to try to make amends, you don't care because you okay with holding on to the foolishness. That's what you've been wanting. If anybody can they hear one negative rumor about you and they run with it, oh, baby, they didn't know you at all. Not at all. Not as much as you thought they did. I had to forgive those who ran with that lie. I had to forgive them. Because it dawned on me at that moment, oh, y'all don't know me. Oh, so y'all didn't know me at all. Okay. All right. That's okay. It's okay. That's where my peace lies right now. It's okay. You just didn't know me. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Now, in lieu of that, I can't have you around me. So for me, with all due respect, okay, to me first and then you, I had to cut my ties. I had to tell you I forgive you, and I had to go ahead and you need to cut it. Okay, definitely. Because I don't want anybody around me that is quickly to believe any rumor and lie that comes their way. Right? I'm the type of friend, because I'm a real one, right? I'm a type of friend that if somebody comes to me with negative energy and negative talk about somebody that I'm close to, first of all, I'm cussing you out. That's number one, because I don't do drama. I'm cussing the person out that's coming to me. That's number one. Because if you got an issue with somebody else, why are you telling me? Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If I give any feedback on what you're telling me about this other person, guaranteed that's going to be the extension of your story the next person you tell. And child, I talked to Miss V, and Miss V said, y'all know how I go. Y'all know how I go. So I shut it down. I do that with my own family members. I had a sister call me a while ago. But I was on a FaceTime with my mother on one device. I have 3 devices. So I was on my FaceTime with my mom on my one device. And my sister called me on FaceTime on another device. And so I told my mom, I said, hold on 1 second. Let me answer and see what she wants. I answered the phone. And I said, hey, girl, what's going on? Hey, you busy? What you doing? And I was like, no, I'm telling what's happening. Girl, let me tell you about I was like, oh, skirt, don't even. I didn't let her get the first sentence out at all. My mama was cackling. You know why? Because what you're not going to do is pull me in no mess. Baby, when I tell you I live stress-free, drama-free, I am stress-free drunk. Don't you bring that mess over here. When I tell you I control my own thermostat, meaning my atmosphere over here, baby, what you're not going to do. I don't let unclean stuff get in my ear. I definitely don't let stuff that ain't got nothing to do with me get in my ear. Baby, what? You say this is involving you and who else? Okay, so none of those are me, right? Okay, so I'm gonna have you to go on and deal with that with the person you got the issue with. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming out. That's it. That's all. I don't do drama. No ma'am, no ham, no spam. Nope. Now, once upon a time when I was younger and immature, I absolutely catered to the foolishness. But what I don't have time for is this right here. You know why? Because number one, again, I'm too sacred. My spirit is too sacred. My mind, my heart, my body is too sacred for foolishness. And yours is too. Yours is too. Okay? That's number one. Number two, I'm a feeler, meaning like FEEL, I'm a feeler, meaning that anything that somebody brings to me, I automatically feel it with my whole heart. I feel it with my mind. I feel it with my spirit. I feel it. I wear it. I carry it. And I want to be a agent of change. I'm trying to bring a resolution. I'm trying to bridge the gap. I'm trying to, fix it. No, man. I don't even feel like investing all of that energy, time, and space. I don't have the bandwidth for that foolishness. Okay. So when I get wind that someone is capable of coming to you and spreading a rumor, negative talk about me, whom you should know already, and you quickly believe it, and you ain't cuss them out, you ain't say, I don't come to me with that. If you got something to say to her, go to her. If you didn't do that right there, then you're just as much as the problem. Absolutely. And I have to treat you accordingly. I love you. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with love. I love you. I love you down, right? But I got to love you from a distance because you're dangerous. You're dangerous. You're dangerous to yourself. And anybody around you gonna get caught in that line of fire. And my love, I like my life. Okay, I don't like fire like that. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going ahead and head on out. All right. I love you. I mean it. I do. I truly do. But you and your drama can stay right on over there. God bless you. Thank you for coming out. Please come again. Okay. That's how we need to handle it. That's maturation. That's maturity. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. And you allow a person to be right where they at. Okay. You allow a fool to establish themselves as a fool. You don't help them. Not ever. All right. Nor do you have control over what people think about you. People gonna think about whatever they want to think about, and it's not up to you. When I realized that these last 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, I can't stop you from thinking what you're gonna think. You're gonna think what you want to think, but your thinking is gonna be based on how you want to think. It's gonna be based on how you feel about me anyway. All you doing is telling that we wasn't as close as I thought. And that in and of itself is not anything to be up in arms about. It's an awareness. I'm now aware that you and I were not as close as I thought we were. And that's cool. Now I can move with a newfound awareness. That's it. That's it. And that's what this is. So this example is, I forgive my mind for thinking that I have control over what people think about me. All right. So now your turn. What you're going to be writing is, first statement, I forgive my mind for thinking that blank should blank. Okay. I forgive my mind for thinking that blank should blank. That's yours. All right. The next statement, I forgive my mind for thinking that blank should not blank. Now keep in mind, we naming names here. That's how you gonna get your your real recompense, right? You gotta call the spade a spade. You gotta put a face and name on the thing. You got to. Same thing with the person. The prime example. Let me interject here again. The person that brought me the drama, I asked them, who is it? What's the names? What's the name? And y'all listen. Prime example right here. This is the wisdom nugget. If somebody can't give you names, when they said, when they coming to you, but they said, or somebody said, and somebody told me, and if you ask them for names and they cannot give you names, then what they saying, child. Okay. All righty. Next statement. I forgive my mind for thinking that blank is obligated to blank. I forgive my mind for thinking that blank is obligated to blank. Okay. And then the last of the I forgive my mind for thinking statements is I forgive my mind for thinking I am responsible for the blank of blank. I forgive my mind for thinking I'm responsible for the blank of blank. Okay. Alrighty. Now, of course, if I'm moving too fast, no worries. You can always play this back. It's on archive on YouTube, archived on Facebook. You can always play it back and, or you can also get the book. That way you don't have to play it back. All right. Alrighty. Next section. Next forgiveness statements. Here we go. It starts with I forgive myself for judging. I forgive myself for judging. Right. Here's an example. I forgive myself for judging the coworkers who have criticized and ridiculed my beliefs. Ooh, that's a real thing too. I forgive myself for judging the coworkers who have criticized and ridiculed my beliefs. All right. That is an example, right? So now your turn is I forgive myself for judging blank as blank. I forgive myself for judging blank as blank. The next statement, I forgive myself for judging blank as blank. So all four is the same. I forgive myself for judging blank as blank. Okay, you're going to do that 4 times. And if you want, as we're going over, you could just write down the example and then fill in the blanks later on your own time when you get to yourself, So 4 statements. I forgive myself for judging blank as blank. Okay. All right. So now the last forgiveness statements is this. I forgive myself for believing. I forgive myself for believing. The example here is, I forgive myself for believing my boss is being disrespectful for not saying good morning. Ooh, how many of us have had a whole bad day all day because somebody didn't speak to us? And in our minds, we'd have made up a whole scenario of why they got beef with us when none of it took place. This mind. That song, My Mind Playing Tricks on Me, that thing is real. Because this mind can make you believe some crazy stuff, but your mind is only producing out of your heart. It's only producing what's in you. Your mind cannot give you what you have not given it. So if you're dealing with low self-esteem and insecurity, then your mind is going to develop thoughts of low self-esteem and insecurity, of rejection and abandonment, of being underappreciated and overlooked and all of that stuff. It's going to speak to you. It's going to make what's happening inside of you become your outward reality, as within, so without. Man, y'all. So if somebody said something to you and their intention was not to hurt you, and you felt hurt and disrespected and all of that stuff and rejected and all of this and then the third, guess where it was coming from? Inside the house. The call was coming from inside the house. For those screen watchers, the call was coming from inside the house, and you made it somebody else outside the house the problem. Hello, somebody. Okay. It's always an inside job. You are always your own mountain. Because if you wasn't feeling a way about anything, then why would it bother you? My grandma used to say a hit dog is what's going to holler. A hit dog will holler. You better believe that. Okay. Here we go. The last statement, I forgive myself for believing. Your sentence, I forgive myself for believing blank about blank. I forgive myself for believing blank about blank. Okay. The next statement, I forgive myself for not believing blank about blank. I forgive myself for not believing blank about blank. The third statement, I forgive myself for believing that others blank. I forgive myself for believing that others blank. And then the last one, I forgive myself for not believing that others blank. I forgive myself for not believing that others blank. Okay. Now, moving forward, we got to deal with the tapping sequence. Now, the tapping sequence, you have to go over on your own. If you're familiar with any type of psychiatric type of meditative healing and things like that, therapeutic healing and stuff like that, then tapping healing, tapping sequence is a real thing. Okay. We went over it day one of us journeying through this. But again, for those who have the book, you have to go over it yourself because it's pretty lengthy, to explain it. And I don't want to take up any more of you all's time. That's why I am always promoting you getting the book. Hello. Especially when it's readily available for you to get. Okay. All right. Alrighty. So the tapping sequence guideline, you want to go through all of those for yourself. And then you want to reflect. Okay. Then you want to reflect always. As a matter of fact, at the end of every day, you should end your, after you've taken your bath, you've gotten your little nightcap, you put the kids to bed, you're sitting by your bedside, or you're sitting on your patio, or you're sitting on the, under the start, wherever you want to sit in your living room, reflect on the day, go over the courses of what happened throughout the day, good, bad, and ugly. And reflect on, the actions of others, but also reflect on your own actions. And, think about, was that the best thing you could have done? Did you show your best reaction or response? How could you have changed your response? What would you have done differently? What did you get out of the situation? All of those things. That's reflective thinking. Okay. And when you're dealing with the forgiveness journey, to reflect on the focuses, to reflect on that helps a great deal, because you will come to know that everything that you was really tripping over is not trip worthy. You'll come to know that I did make a mountain out of a molehill, y'all. I did make this to be bigger than what it was, and as a result, now we're here, and dang, man. And it's not for you to feel bad. Like, this is not a conviction type of, this not what that is. This ain't that. This is being honest with self. This is reflection. This is you saying, I could have did better with that one. I fumbled it. I dropped the ball. I let my little feelings get away from me, and now now we're here. So if there's no way for you to make amends, if you can make amends, then do that. If that's what you want to do, then go ahead and do that. If there's no way for you to do that, and whomever you did this with or whatever, it's just they don't want to fool with you, then they have a right, because consider what you did. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, even if that person is not willing to open themselves up to hear what you have to say, then that's okay. Just make amends with yourself. Forgive yourself. Acknowledge the growth that needs to be done, acknowledge the healing that needs to be done, and then move on from there. That's what you do. Okay, so after you reflect, here's the final quote by Franco de la Rochefoucauld. I know I butchered it. I know I did. But their quote is, one forgives to the degree that one loves. One forgives to the degree that one loves. That's good. One forgives to the degree that one loves. How much do you love this person? How much do you love yourself? Right? That determines how you forgive, how much you forgive, when you forgive, how quickly you forgive. Right? One forgives to the degree that one loves. I love that. That's good. Okay. All right, you all. Next week, day 18. This is I Forgive the World. And the opening statement is this: this holy instant would I give to you. It says, be you in charge, for I will follow you. Now I train my mind to remember you, forgiving all that I thought happened. This is my responsibility, to choose the thoughts I think. And if I need a word to help me, you will give it to me. If I need a thought, this you will also give. If I need stillness and tranquil, open mind, these are the gifts I will receive from you. That's good. That is an excerpt from Prayer for a Course of Miracles Workbook Lesson 363. All righty, you all. Listen. You all, there's a couple of things that I want you to do. First of all, if you need the book, the PDF version, of course, I'm always going to have you to support Miss Queen Mother Healer Iyanla Van Zandt. Okay, you can visit her site and get the book for yourself. You can go to Amazon and get the book for yourself, wherever you get your books. Okay, because she's everywhere. But if you want it in ebook form, you let me know and I'll get it over to you. Of course, it's not as nostalgic as turning pages. Okay, I'm a turning page girl. Okay, I love to turn the pages. I like the smell of the pages, all of that stuff. So, and then of course with the PDF, you don't get the whole package. You want to get the whole thing for the whole experience, But if you want the PDF, then let me know. You can email me and I'll get it over to you. Okay. You can visit my website. My website information is on the screen. If you're on Clubhouse listening right now, then my website is in my bio. Or it's right above my head. You can tap above my head on Clubhouse and you'll get right there. Okay. Visit my website and on there you'll have all information about what it is that I do. You can order merchandise, my books. You can take courses and get some services and things like that. Again, I do a lot of stuff, spiritually speaking, and mentally, emotionally, and all of those things, even some business conversations or whatever, purpose, life, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so if you want to utilize and get some of the services that I offer, you go right ahead and do so. I welcome you to do just that. Okay, you can email me if you have any questions. Email me at info@biancamissblee.com. If you want to schedule me to do something, I am a keynote speaker. I am a panelist. I do motivations and things like that, conversations or whatnot. You can email me. Email me at info@biancamissblee.com. I am the one speaking to you. I do not have representatives to speak for me. I speak for myself. Okay, so when you email or call or whatever the case, it is me. It is I. Yes, it is. Okay, I'm not too big to not be able to do my own work. Okay. Alrighty, if you want to follow me on social media, you can do so. Instagram at Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, or Facebook, Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee. Okay, Twitter, Bianca Miss B. Lee. They wouldn't let me put the doctor on there. That's all right. They some haters over there. Okay, I work hard for that DR. All right. But in any case, YouTube, Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, and go over to YouTube. I want to increase the followership and the subscribers and stuff like that. So go over there and do just that for me, please. And thank you. Okay. You can follow me on Patreon as well. Now, Patreon in Mama B's Kitchen, we do spiritual work only. So we're not going to be talking about life and purpose and all of this stuff and coaching and counseling and all of that. We're going to be doing spiritual things. Okay. Because I am a spiritual, guide. Yeah. So are you. Some of the things just need to be activated. Okay. Also, if you don't know, I am a founder and director of a nonprofit organization, as well as one of the founders of the Behind the Scenes Awards and Recognition, aka the BTS Awards. We're always doing work for the community. We're always expanding. We're always doing great things for the world. And so to tap into it and to be a part of that, even if you just want to donate or be a sponsor, then you can do that. There's many ways that you can do that. Visit the website and you can find out everything that we've done in the past and everything that we're about to do, okay? If you want to sow a seed, then I don't turn down nothing but my collar. Hello, somebody. You can shoot me a Cash App, or you can send me a Zelle with the information on the screen. I appreciate you. I really, really do. You definitely are sowing into good ground. You better believe that, okay? Because the things that I do is all good ground material. Hello, somebody. All right? And I love you for it. I truly, truly do. All right. And I appreciate you for your seeds. For those who are going to sow a seed, I appreciate you for your seeds. Nonetheless, even if you don't, I appreciate you for your love and your seed. Miss Lori says, thank you, Miss B. Thank you so much, Miss Lori. I appreciate you. It is my honor, my privilege, my pleasure. Okay. All righty, you all. If there's nothing else for today, all hearts and minds are clear, as they say back in the day. I'm going to send you on your way so you can have the rest of your lovely, beautiful Sunday. And we will meet back here on next week for week 18 of this 21 day of forgiveness. Understand, keep in mind, the next book that we're going to be pursuing is The Secret. The Secret. If you do not have that book in your hand right now, you can obtain at always any book that I'm going through that I'm going to read with you. I always have it in PDF form. So if you want a copy of the PDF book, The Secret, which is our next book that we're going to be embarking on, then email me. I put my information on the screen already. So listen, come and get your book so you can be prepared for day one of The Secret. All right. We're about to approach day 18. Okay. So listen, y'all. Okay. Let's stay ready. So we ain't got to get ready. Okay. All righty. The Secret is Listen, you think you sitting on top of the world right now. Watch this. Wait until we get through The Secret. Oh, I'm excited about that one. Okay. But we got to get out our own way in order to adhere to what The Secret is talking about. Hello, somebody. Hello. Hey, Emma. How are you? Welcome to Clubhouse. We're about to end right now, but I will tell you this: all of this will be archived for you to play back at another day, time, or whatever. But you don't want to miss it. It was good. Okay. All righty, you all. Listen, I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely positively nothing you can do about it. Don't you even try it. We will see you back here on next Sunday, same time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at Divine Femininity United. I am your girl, Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, and I love you always. I mean it. Always. Always. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Okay? Have a great Sunday. Peace.